Okay, Mishnah Perk base, and again without preparation. Beni. So we're the son. We're talking to us. We're the ones who are supposed to take it as the father is talking to us. If you take my words, my speech, and my commandments, you titzpon, lashon of hiding. They hide with you. That's something which is precious. You put into safekeeping, like you put into the kasefet, the safe deposit box. So that's going to be titzpon. So if you take my commandments and hide it with you. For what purpose? Lahakshiv, not what purpose, or no, maybe I said it wrong. Maybe not what purpose. Let's see the next couple of psukim. Lahakshiv, lachachma aznecha, tatel l'bchol b'tfuna. Maybe we should just read a couple of psukim together. It seems to be a series of psukim until pasuk hey, including all of base gimel dalad. Lahakshiv lachachma aznecha, tatel l'bchol b'tfuna. Kim labina tikra, l'tfuna titein kol lecha. If you listen to my words, as we said, and you take my commandments, that your ears should take heed to wisdom. Lakshiv is to listen, aznecha your ears, lachochma. Lakshiv lachochma, aznecha your ears should heed to wisdom. Tatel l'bchol latfuna, incline your heart to tvuna. There's chachma and tvuna over here. And kim la bina tikra, if you're going to call out to bina, that tvuna titen kolacha. You're going to give your voice to call out to tvuna. So tvuna is mentioned 2 times. The first pasuk here, pasuk base is about chachma, pasuk gimel is about bina, chachma and bina. But both of the psukim have tvuna. So that's going to be the question: what is bina? What is tvuna? And chachma goes together with tvuna. So does bina. Bina goes together with tvuna. It sounds very much like the shorish of bina. Both of them sound like understanding. So. I know there are issues in Kabbalah that talk about this, but in the Pashup Pshat, I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between Bina and Tvuna. But these are all saying that if you're going to listen to Chachma and Bina, Tvuna, those are the 3 things that it talks about. To listen with your ears to Chachma and incline your heart to Tvuna, to call to Bina and to call to Tvuna. It's interesting because both of them is about Bina Tikra and to call out to it. So that's interesting that you're calling out to Bina and Tvuna. You're listening and trying to incorporate into your heart Chachma and Tvuna, and you're calling out to Bina and Tvuna. So what's going to happen if you do that? He's encouraging his son to acquire Chachma and Bina, Tvuna. What's going to happen? If you search it like silver and you search it like treasures, like hidden treasures, amatmon is something that's hidden. Then you're going to understand Yiras Hashem, and you're going to find Das Elokim, to know God. Das Elokim is to know God, knowing Hashem. So that's fascinating psukim, and the Mesilas Yesharim brings us down in Dakdama as a proof to the necessity to study and search in order to get Yiras Hashem. And that's Lafuke. The Mesilas Yesharim's issue was to Lafuke those who think that Yiras Hashem is not a wisdom. They'll say it's the most important thing, but they say it's not a wisdom. And that's the debate over there he has with the Chacham and the Chassid, in either in the Mesilas Yesharim that we have or in the other edition where it's more of a debate. But that's what the discussion is. If Inyan Yiras Shamayim are a Chachma or not. And here he says fresh psukim, then it says that is Chachma. If the Vakshana Chakesef, what's the Vakshana? What's it going on? It's going on these things of Chachma and Bina. It is interesting that it says the Vakshana is Lashon Yachid. If you seek it, and he spoke about Chachma and Bina, maybe Tvuna also, and he just says if you seek it. So it should have said if you seek them. That might be a kasha. If you seek it like silver and you search it like matmonim, then you're going to understand Yiras Hashem, and you're going to find knowledge of God. So that's the father's encouraging words to the son to search for Yiras Hashem by listening to Chachma and calling out that Bina should come to you. Pasuk continues.
What is he looking for? He's going to find Yiras Hashem and Das Elokim, but what is he looking for?
So I thought it's going on the Chachma and the Bina. He's searching for Chachma and Bina. but it means, of course, true wisdom and true understanding, right? You can talk about Chachma and other kind of fields, but he says this. It seems here that this is the true wisdom. The true wisdom is going to be Yiras Hashem, like the Mesilas Hashem, that's the only thing that's really worthy of being called the wisdom, or he calls it in a different Gersos over there, the Ikar Sheba Chachma, the most important Chachma. I'm just thinking now, as we're talking, as we're learning, that maybe maybe it's going on the Yiras Hashem. If you seek Yiras Hashem like Kesef and Matmonim, also not good, because Das Elokim is there's Yiras Hashem and there's Das Elokim. Also should have said plural maybe. I think the Pashup Shad means if you seek the wisdom, and how come it calls each one in a Lashon Yachid? If you seek the wisdom, if you seek the Bina, so then you're going to understand the Yiras Hashem. It could be maybe that the Bakasha, one is going on Chachma, one is going on Bina, the Bakshana Kekesef is going on the Chachma, Tachbesen is going on Bina. I don't know. I'm just trying. It is interesting that the term Das Elokim have written down over here. It's only found two places in Tanakh. One is here, the other one is in Hosea. Two places in Hosea. Das Elokim. That means to know Hashem, right? To know Hashem. So we're on the search to find the true wisdom and the true Bina, and if we search it well, we're going to understand and find Yiras Hashem, Das Elokim. The first thing, like I said, is Dirshu Hashem V'uza, you have to seek it. That's something, there's another pasuk also over there in Divrei Yomim that you have to seek Hashem, you have to search. It's a very important thing, I think, that you have to search Hashem, you have to seek Him. Rabbi Miller talks about at the beginning of his book that the truth is under a mountain of falsehood. This world is very dark. And like the Mesilas Yesharim says about all the chushim, all of the sensory perception that we have, the senses. So they're really a darkness. And the Ramchal in different places explains this point about that the physicality of the world is a very big darkness on seeing the real truth. And we only see things through our physical senses, but we have to be able to use our bichachma and bina to be able to understand it. Not just look with the fleshy eyes and just see on the surface. You have to understand things with the wisdom. And that's the big test of this world, this darkness. The Mesilas Yesharim talks about the mashal of the darkness covers up things you don't see clearly, it blurs you, or you think instead of something else altogether. And then the nimshal is that the choshech hachumriyus is a darkness to the einei haseichel, and that can make you make mistakes, either be blurred or completely in the dark. That's a fascinating lesson that the Father is telling us that we have to search to find Chachma and Bina, and we're going to find Yiras Hashem. Pasuk Vav. I make this division here that I made, the first 5 psukim, then the next 4 psukim, Vav Zayin Ches Tes is another series. That's according to the Gura. That's the way the Gura makes these chalukot based on the Gura. The Gura is in Pasuk Tes. Then he says how the Pasuk division is. Ki Adonai yitain chachma mipiv dasus huna. Hashem gives wisdom from His mouth. Does He give das and tuna? So here you have chachma and tuna. You have tuna again for the third time, chachma for the second, and here it talks about das elokim. It did mention the word das before. So here it says Hashem gives wisdom from His mouth. Does He give das and tuna? These are the things we're looking for. Yitzpon la yishavim tushiyah magain lahol chitom. So tushiyah is another word for kind of deep wisdom. I don't know. You find it a few places in Mishlei, I think. The word nothing to do with Yeshua. I don't think it has anything to do. Yeshua over there, the shorish is an ayin. There's an ayin over there also, Yud Shin ayin. Here, the word has nothing to do with the ayin, so it's nothing to do with salvation. Tushiyah, some kind of deep wisdom, which I don't have Hagdara for. Hashem hides Tushiyah for the upright. So that's an interesting thing, that there's a Yashar. And not because they're smart, but because they're a Yashar. Hashem is going to give this deep wisdom to the people that are upright. Magain lahol chitom. It is going to be the Tushiyah, that great wisdom will be a Mogen to those people who go in Tmimos. Tom is Tom and Yasha go together. Yasha, Tom, there probably has to be a distinction between the two of them, but both of them are some kind of a uprightness. The word Yasha, upright, straight. Tom is full, whole, innocent. that he really means to try to find the truth. He wants the truth. The Yosha is going to be something about what the real truth is. You find in the Mesilas Yesharim, the word Mesilas Yesharim itself, he doesn't talk about the word Yosha too much in the Sefer. It's interesting that the name Mesilas Yesharim and in the text, in the paragraph, in the different midos, the different levels, he talks about he was Rizos, Nikias, etc. You don't find Chasidus and a Tzaddik. He talks about a Tzaddik and a Chassid. You don't find too much the word Yashar. But some explain that the Yosher was what's necessary in order to learn the Sefer. You have to be a Yashar. If you're a Yashar, then you go, then you're invited in to follow the path. If you don't have the Yosher, then it's not going to help you. The first thing is you have to be a Yashar. That you have to want to know the truth. Without any crookedness, you want to come to what the straightness is, to be straight. It is interesting. If you show him tis halolo, v'divrei tzadikim tis barach, v'lashon chasidim tis ramon v'kev kedoshim tis kadosh. So you have over there Yashar, Tzadik, Chasid, Kadosh, which is very much the Mesilas Yesharim. The Tzadik Chasid is beferish over there. The Mesilas Yesharim says everything in the first three programs. He was first three levels. So he was Rizos Nakios says to be a Tzadik. From there on is to be a Chasid, and of course the last program over there is about a Kadosh. So you have over there the Tzaddik, Chassid, and the Kadosh. And who is the Yosha? So that's the person that's to get into the ball game. In order to come into the process of becoming all this, you have to first be a Yosha. The Yosha means that he wants the truth. And very, very much you see in the Mesilas Yesharim, a lot of the things that he explains are just getting rid of the sheker. If you go with the truth, you'll see why Gaiva is no good, Kas is no good. It's all falsehoods. It's all mizuyaf. It's all fake. And a person wants the real truth. That's what the Yosher is. I don't have a distinction between Yosher and Tone. Both of them are very similar. They go together in the Psukim a lot and Mishlei, but it does need a distinction. Linsor or Chos Mishpat v'derech Hasidov Yishmor, to guard. The word notzer, like notzer teino yochal piriyah. The word notzer is to guard, similar to shomer. To guard the pathways of justice. That's what he wants to do. This is going to help you, the tushiyah. These yisharim that have tushiyah is going to be a mogen, it's going to be a shield to protect him from mistakes probably, and it's going to help him to guard the pathways of justice. The derech hasidov yishmor, here they say it's going on Hashem. The word yishmor, he's going to guard. Who? Hashem. Hashem is going to guard the ways of his pious ones. Then you're going to understand righteousness and justice and uprightness. The word Meshorim is the upright things. It's called the Meshorim, I think. Kol Magal Tov, all good paths. The word Magal is another word for a pathway. Before we had already Orchos and Derech. The pasuk before we had different words for pathways. Orach is a pathway, Derech is a way, and a Magal is also. They talk about maybe the word Magal comes from the word Agol, some kind of a circular path that goes around. Maybe that might be also another word about the word Magal. Why each one has its own specific name? Surely they're going to be nuances that are different. But the point is that you need Chachma and Tuna. This pasuk starts off in pasuk Vav. You have to have Chachma, Das, and Tuna that Hashem gives, and then Hashem is going to hide, a better word than hiding, but he's going to, I don't have a good word for it, he's going to give Tushia to those Yisharim. So Chachma, Das, Tuna, Tushia, they're going to get the wisdom. Probably the result of all these things is going to be the Tushia that he's going to have, and that's going to be a shield for him. I think that the point is going to be a shield in order to not to make mistakes, in order to be able to go on the proper paths, and that's going to help him to guard the paths of justice, and Hashem is going to guard the ways of the Hasidim, that they shouldn't make mistakes. I'm suggesting that what does it mean he's going to guard their paths? Not that they're not going to get into a car accident. It means that they're not going to make mistakes in their ways. You have to have a lot of Siyata Dishmaya, like a lot of like it says here, Hashem. Hashem is the one who's going to help us. We need a lot of help from Hashem in order to not make mistakes on the ways that we want to go. We want to do what's right. But all kinds of people are doing things and they think it's right. But the Mesilas Yesharim says that the problem is that they didn't give it thought. That's what the Mesilas Yesharim is. And he makes a big point by Hasidus over there, and he says people don't think. So that's a big issue that here the Chor Mishlei is saying it, that you have to seek for, listen to wisdom and call out to Bina. You have to think and understand, and then Hashem is going to give you the wisdom that you need in order not to make mistakes. I think the Chor is a Pashup Shad in the Pesukim as we're reading it, that you need a more gain. You need to be a shmira. You need a shmira in order to go on the right path. And people go on their path and they close their eyes and they wish for the best, but it's not going to happen. It's like Mesilas Yesharim says, going on the next to the river edge, the river bank, and hoping you're not going to fall in with the closed eyes also. And like Rav Nosson says, you don't have to talk about the river bank nowadays. Let's talk about going on the sidewalk, on the edge of the sidewalk. It's the same thing. In those days in Padua, that was the issue of going to the riverbank, but over here, nowadays, you can't go on, you have to watch where you're going, you have to think. And thinking doesn't only mean B'Shas Ma'aseh, it also means Shalom B'Shas Ma'aseh, which the Mesilas Yesharim says the main thing is, the main point that's missing by people is that they don't think what's right and what's wrong. And everybody thinks, of course, I know what's right and what's wrong. Kamash that is not true. People don't know what's right and what's wrong, you have to think a lot. And Shlomi's car journey yesterday might have been a lesson about that. That you have to think, and you might know something is right, but you have to think more and more. What's the proper way? This Rav, should be respected Rav, he has a responsibility to think about what he's doing, and I'm sure he has, and he'll do more. And that's an example that people have to think very much about their pathway in life. I'm just pointing out because let me give an example of a man who's a big chacham, and now he has to make a decision. What is he going to do? And each person has that, and we don't even realize sometimes that we're supposed to think. And this meeting with Shlomi gave the Rav an opportunity to, someone's telling him he's supposed to think more. So, said a very nice way, the way he said. But the point is, we should also be telling ourselves this point, that we have to think, are we doing the right thing in life? What is right? What is wrong? And very big Musa that the father is telling the son, listen to wisdom, call out understanding, and Hashem is going to give it. If you try hard enough, like you're searching for gold and silver, then Hashem will give it to you. New paragraph, sort of. Kisavo, chachma b'libecha v'das l'nafshecha tinam. Then, if wisdom is going to come into your heart and knowledge is going to become pleasant to your being, so then, mizimah is also another word for wisdom. I don't know the differences. Of course, it's not nice of me. It's not fair of me to say all these words that they're very similar and I don't know what the nuances are. But it's a whole chachma to figure out what the differences are. The regular Mefarshim don't address it. There are those that do, the Gra and the Malbim and the Pshamshin and Hirsch. They all, there are others also that try to distinguish between the nuances. But I can't say that I have a great shot. I don't know. But here the point is that the general idea is that the wisdom, once you internalize wisdom, then it's going to guard you. Tishmor Alecha is to watch over you. Tinsereka is the same word as before. Linsor, we had that over there in Pasuk Ches, that it's going to guard you. The wisdom, the mezima, that kind of wisdom, and the tuna are going to watch over you. And it's going to save you from going on the evil paths, which again, is not simple. People think that it's simple. I know the evil paths. No, you have to have a big shmira. The wisdom is the thing that's going to guard you from those evil paths. You have to constantly be thinking and understanding, looking into it deeper. Tushia, Mazima. Well, I don't know what it is, but again, the nuances. But it definitely it seems like it's some kind of deep thinking that a person has to think in order to be guarded from going on the wrong path. And the wrong path is very, very, very dangerous. People don't realize it because it doesn't always mean the wrong path means that they're going to go into a car accident. The wrong path means that they're doing the wrong thing in life. And doesn't mean that they're going to be Mechal Shabbos. That's not the point. The point here is not someone's going to, the whole Mishlei, I would say that the whole Mishlei in general is not talking about a person going to be Shem Torah Mitzvah or not. That's not the point. The point is, are you going the right path? Are you going the path of life that Hashem has made available to you to get closer to Him? Of course, mitzvahs in general, that's like the olive base. But what are you doing in life? What is your life? What is your life? So you have to have a lot, and of course there are also nisyonos that are big nisyonos, and a lot of times people don't even realize that was the nisyon, and that's where he failed. It isn't. main issue of the Mesilas Yesharim is not to do mitzvahs, not to do the regular mitzvahs that you have. It's much deeper. And anybody that's done Zehirus sense, gotten into Zehirus, I think that they realize it, that it's not just a question of doing the things that it says in Shulchan Aruch. There's a much bigger Shulchan Aruch, and it's not Chasidus. It's the right and wrong of life that include a lot of things. Very, very much. What his whole life is, what the essence of his life is. To put it short, is a person running after Hashem, who is just trying not to get in trouble. I think it's understood, makes sense, it speaks to everybody. What is life all about? Are we in a I don't like okay, there's somebody that showed me a clipping from a Chiloni, I think maybe she's a big Hasidah, Chaver Knesset, Galit, somebody. That's if anybody's heard her, it's amazing. The biggest Rashiva doesn't speak that way, but the biggest Mashgiach with such a kind of enthusiasm for Hashem and the Torah. And she says we were robbed. And she one of this I heard about 2 minutes worth, and she said that we have to get into our heads that we're not physical beings that are experiencing a spiritual high. We're spiritual beings that are passing through this Gashmi life. I would say a little bit more Madhyak if you want, that a person is both. You may know that from the Derech Hashem, that it's not a question of being a Yitzhak Gashmi, it's Ruchani. We're both. We're at Guf and Nefesh, that we have to fuse together in order to make us to be a complete Ruchani, which is going to change the Behemah in us to become more angelic and more mizdakech, purified. There's always going to be a guf, but the guf is going to be so mizdakech that it's going to be drawn to the neshama and drawn to Hashem just right after the neshama, following the neshama. So I think that's enough to maybe say that it's not enough just to grow up like a God-fearing, mitzvah observant Jew. It's not enough. You have to be connected to Hashem, and our whole life should be running after Him. Near the follow, that's the Hashem. It continues over here, that it's going to save you. What's going to save you? The Chochmah and the Das. And Mezima, Tevuna, what's it going to save you for? It's going to save you to save you from the evil path, from the man who speaks upside down things, like opposite things, tapuchos, things that are upside down. Tapuchos, lashon of hepech, things that now that means again that there's some kind of a trick over here. There's going to be somebody. There's a tapuchos, something which is going to sound maybe logical, and really it's going to be logical or good or worthwhile, and really it's called tapuchos. I just noticed again, just to go back, it comes into your heart. A person has to become that his heart became full of wisdom. Not only that is in his head, he has to internalize the wisdom that he knows. So what's going to help you? It's going to save you. It's going to help you to save you from the evil path, from the man. There's a man. It could be taken literally. There's some men like that, or it's figurative, that speaks upside down things. They forsake, they leave the paths of uprightness, the straight paths, to go on the paths of darkness. The people who enjoy doing bad, and they rejoice, exude in the tapuchos ra. So the Gra says, what does mean tapuchos ra? When things turn into evil, that they speak with deceit, something which sounds like a good thing, and then when his plan works and everything turns upside down into evil, that's when he's happy. He rejoices when the thing turns into evil. This sounds like a very much of a mazed person, that he's interested. The goal is to do evil, but he does it in a cunning way that he makes it come out that it should be evil. But initially, when he says something or does something, looks like he's doing something that's good, but it turns into you could say different shot than the I'm not saying that the gross shot is muchach and it has to be the only shot in the pasuk, but they rejoice, they exude, yagilu, when the tapuchos ra, like the upside down of the evil. So the Gra says that it turned upside down to become evil. First it was upright, then he turned it into evil. Asher ochosehem ikshim unolosim b'maglos. Their paths, the paths of these evil people, are ikesh. The word ikesh is crooked. The word nalos is also crooked, kind of twisting that in their pathways again. The word nowadays, for some reason, action, the word action in Yiddish became somebody stubborn. It doesn't really mean that. I'm not sure how come it became to mean that in Yiddish, but Yiddish or English Yiddish. But the word ikesh really means something that's crooked. And I don't know the difference between like ikesh and alos. Both of them are like twisted and crooked. So these people, these evil people, the uh, Derech Ro Ish Medaber Tapuchos. That started from if you want to make the divisions in the psukim. So you start Yud Beis is a series. Yud Beis, Yud Gimel, Yud Dalet Tesvav. So and then it's going to be a new series. This is also Api the Gra. The Gra makes these divisions over here. That it's gonna Latzilcha Derech Ro. That's Yud Beis, and then Tesvav starts Latzilcha Meisha Zara. And that goes on for a couple of psukim. And then Pasuk Chof, the Mount Taylor, Tobim until the end. So those are the three divisions of what this wisdom is going to accomplish for you. It's going to save you from the evil way. And the people that are speak the Ishmedabra Tapuchos, that they go away from the Yosha and they're happy to do evil and they rejoice when the things turn into evil. They have crooked ways, twisted ways. Now, another point that it does is to save you from the Isha Zara. So you have to know what's the difference between a Derech Ron and the Isha Zara. So you can take it in the Pashup Shad. Pashup Shad about a woman, and you have to stay away from the evil woman. And that's nus. And the Pashup Shad, that the Mishlei goes. It could be that the Mishlei is a Mishlei, and therefore there's a Nimshal. There's going to be a Nimshal for the Isha Zara. But the Mashal is just as valuable as the Nimshal. And La Tzilcha Isha Zara, to save you from the foreign woman. From the strange woman. That's like the Zara. Zara and Achriya, both of them mean foreign, strange. That makes her words, her sayings, her speech is slippery. Achlika is slippery. So that's going to be a cunning kind of a woman that draws the man in. So you have to be safe. You have to have wisdom. The wisdom is going to save you from these kind of women. She leaves her husband. That she's a married woman that leaves her husband and she's trying to entice men. She leaves the aluf. Aluf is like the sar. What's a good word in English? The what would you call it? It means her husband, but the husband here is called aluf nura. The sar. A better word? I mean that's a Hebrew word, but I always say that in English.
Officer, chief.
Officer, chief, something like that. I have to get the right nuance in the way we speak in English, but that's what we're looking for. Nura of her youth means the husband of her youth, and he's like her Baal. The word Baal, it really means like an Adon, like a master. That's what's the woman. If the woman is smart, she would appreciate and enjoy and want to be the woman of her Baal. It's very the word in Hebrew is very amazing. They say, Bali. Bali means my master in literal. And really it's supposed to be like that. Of course, has to have the right understanding, try to explain what that means, what's the relationship of husband and wife. But of course, the wife is supposed to, her happiness and her fulfillment is when she is a wife who feels that her husband is above her. That's a fascinating relationship and it's healthy for everybody. Of course, it doesn't mean that she's a shifcha, doesn't mean that she's a slave. On the contrary, she's very, 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 very connected to him. But that's the way that she looks upon him. And the connection is a very, very deep connection that's supposed to be the shlemus of both of them. Both of them gain on it. And she forgot the covenant of her God. So that would mean Hashem. And Hashem says that a woman should not forsake her husband. So this woman, this woman who's a married woman and she's going after other men, is forsaking her husband of youth, and she's also forgetting the covenant of her God, which told the woman that she should be loyal to her husband. Because her house the point is, it means the men who are going to be coming into her house. She's trying to lure people into her house in order to be mizana. So her house is crouching down to death. Means it's lower down. The word shach is to go low down, like mishtachaveh means when a person lies on the floor when he's prostrating himself. in order to bow down. So that's called the word shach. Shin ches means to be low. So shachal mavas base of her house is low down till death. Means anybody comes into it, the person who comes into her house to have relations with her is coming is lower down to death. And her pathways lead to Rifa'im. Rifa'im is the grave. So the woman who's trying to lure in men is like bringing them into the grave. All that come to her are not going to be able to return. Once she caught them, so then it's very hard to run away from her, to detach themselves. All that come to her will not be able to return. They're not going to attain the paths of life. They're on the way to death. Like I said before, Mavis and Rifa'im, they're not going to be able to attain the pathways of life. So that was the second point about Latzilcha Meisha Zora. On from Tezayin, Yezayin, Yitches, Yites, all that was the series about being saved from Meisha Zora. And then the last couple of psukim, what is all this wisdom going to help you? Like it started off, Kisavo Chachma B'libacha Pasuk Yud Aleph, about Chachma and Das, Mezima, Tavuna. So it's going to save you from all these things. And now Latzilcha Mederech Ra, Latzilcha Meisha Zara. Now it says Laman Telech B'derech Tovim, V'achos Tzadikim Tishmor. In order that it's going to help you, the wisdom and the Das is going to help you to go in the pathways of the good ones. Derech Tovim. There was before Derech Ra. Now it's Derech Tovim. It doesn't say Derech Tov. It doesn't mean the good path, but it means the path of the good ones. And you're going to be able to guard the pathways of the Tzaddikim, Orchos Tzaddikim. That's Agav. That's a sefer called Orchos Tzaddikim. Here's the place where you got it from. Orchos Tzaddikim, the pathways of the righteous. You're going to guard the pathways of the righteous. You're going to be like them. Just like the righteous go on a certain path, you're going to be going on the pathways of the righteous. We have again the Yishorim and the Tmimim, which we spoke about before in Pasuk Zion. You have the Yishorim and Tmimim. So the Yishorim are going to dwell in the land. And those people that are Tmimim, wholesome people, there's something similar to the straightforwardness. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be left. Yivasru, like Nosar, they're going to be the ones that are going to be left. It means that contrast to the next pasuk, but the Risham are going to be cut off from the land. In contrast to the Yishorim, Yishkinu Oretz and Timimim Yivasru, but those are the ones that are going to be left in the land. But the Risham and the Bogdim, Risham are going to be cut off from the land, and Bogdim Yischumi Mena. The Bogdim are the traitors, treacherous ones, the ones that betray. That's called the Bogdim. They are going to be uprooted from it. The word Yischu is to be uprooted. Shall we continue? We have about 5 minutes. We could continue, or if anybody has any questions on this subject, any other subjects. Good time. Okay, so we continue. Paragimel. Beni. Don't forget my instruction and my commandments. Your heart should guard. You have to guard. So something about remembering it and guarding it that you shouldn't forget. Because they are going to add on to you length of days, years of life, and peace. That my teachings are going to give you all of these things: length of days, which means long life, because it says both of them are of course, and the drasha or the deeper pshat, there'll be reasons what it means length of days and years of life. But the idea is you'll live long, and probably the life is going to be full of good things, well-lived years, and peace. All of this, the Torah and the mitzvahs that I teach you, the Father's commandments and teachings, not the Torah mitzvahs of the Torah. That's the Torah, the Pashup Pshat, and the Psukim over here. We're not talking about being shown Torah mitzvahs, but that the Father is teaching the Son his teachings and his mitzvahs. So that's going to give you long life and peace. Now goes his instructions. Chesed v'emes al yazvuka, yal yazvuka. kindness and truth should not leave you. That's the you should do chesed v'emes. A person should do chesed v'emes. A person should do kindness and truth. Kashvem al gagruosecha, kasvem al loch libecha. Umatzachen v'sechel tov beinei elohim v'adam. That's one series, Gimel and Dalet, that you should not, it should never leave you chesed and emes. L'chora means the chesed you should do to others, and the emes, always trying to find the truth. Tie it on your neck, gagruosecha, which is the way of saying keep it close to you. Write it on the tablet of your heart, which again, figurative way of saying that you should make sure that you never forget about it. It should always be together with you. Of course, that's that reason why it says it as a necklace, as a, why these two mishalim. Of course, that'll be important, to figure out what the mushal is, what the point of that is. You could say that it's something that gives him honor, the ornament, it adorns him, whatever, I'm not sure. But the point is that he should always remember, it should be always together with him. And remember, chesed v'emes. What's that going to happen? You'll find charm. You have to get a good word of charm. Maybe charm is not the right word. And good sense in the eyes of Hashem and of man. That chesed v'emes that you do is going to cause that you'll find chen v'seichel tov in the eyes of Hashem and man. This is what we say in Berachas Hamazon, that wherever the minute came from, it's not from Chazal, it's already put in the end by the additions of the Rahmans. So, based on this pasuk. Here it says you have to do chesed v'emes. Chesed v'emes shouldn't forsake you, and that'll cause that you should find good in the eyes of Hashem and man. The next series goes.
What does it mean to find good sense?
Seichel tov. Maybe that means that they will agree with the things that you do. The question is definitely a better question than I have ready prepared. I didn't pay attention to it. To find Seichel tov. Seichel tov. We have the word that Seichel, we said, what do we have in the beginning? Musar Haskel. We said over there in Pasuk Gimel, beginning of the Sefer, we said over there that Haskel meant Hatzlacha. Would that make sense over here? Hatzlacha tov. Seichel does not mean sense. I said that here the word seichel means sense. Maybe it does. To find seichel, to find chen b'nei elokim v'adam, they find that you are chen. What does it mean that you find chen in their eyes?
They like you.
What is that? That they will like you. And to find seichel tov, that they will consider your ways of doing things as that they're done well. They're done with seichel. Is that possible pshat? That you will find seichel tov b'nei elokim v'adam. That they will look at you as if you're doing things with seichel. If you do chesed v'emes, that does need more investigation for that.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we'll stop over here. Up to pasuk hey. Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you.